Welcome back to aRDists Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah. So this isn't a milestone episode, but it is a milestone for my business. So I started the Kerminator LLC 2 years ago. So I have a few little surprises in this episode. But before we get into that, we have to start with 0 days since our last nonsense. So I have just 2 little bits of nonsense. Actually, make that 3, because last time I talked about how our cat Dwight took it upon himself to relieve himself in our sink rather than use the cat litter. And unfortunately, that has continued, and we don't know why. I tried cleaning the sink because I was like, oh, maybe it's, the little holes in the front of the sink. Sometimes they get, a little musty or whatever, so I cleaned them. But anyway, that was a little bit of, follow-up nonsense. Next bit of nonsense is that I trimmed my own bangs, and I had done it before. I usually cut my own hair. It's very rare that I go to someone to get my hair cut, and I cut them a little too short, and yesterday my hair was particularly puffy and feral looking, so if it looks a little off today, I did not do as good a job. The good thing about having curly hair is that the curls can hide a lot of, miscuts, but when it's bangs, it's a little bit harder. So yeah. And then my main bit of nonsense this week is naps as an adult. So sometimes I hit a wall in the afternoon and I can't really drink coffee past noon because it'll keep me up. I'm just sensitive to caffeine, and I know I'll be, my brain will just be too wired to go to sleep. So my body will physically want to sleep, but my mind is just nope, we're very much awake. So I'll sometimes lay down with the intention of taking a 20-minute nap. So I'll set a timer on my phone, and sometimes I'll set it across the room so I physically have to get up. But sometimes I don't. And I'll lay down and just hit 15 more minutes for 2 hours. It's very rare these days that a 20-minute nap is 20 minutes. It's at least an hour, if not 2. And so this past weekend, it was Mother's Day. And on Saturday, I did a bunch of yard work, and then I laid down because I was like, I want to take a little nap. This is fine. It's the weekend. I'm allowed. I woke up 3 hours later. And I was like, oh, I need to call my mom for Mother's Day. So I call, and the whole time I'm on the phone, I was like, oh yeah, what did you do today? And oh, happy Mother's Day, blah, blah, blah. And oh, did you get your, something from TJ, my brother? Because I thought he was, sending her something. She's like, no, I haven't gotten it yet. And my gift had arrived, so she already took it out and used it and stuff. And I was like, oh, his is probably just running a little late, whatever. And I hang up the phone, go tell my husband oh yeah, I called my mom for Mother's Day. Did you call your mom yet? And he's like, no, because Mother's Day is tomorrow. The whole time I was on the phone, I was like, oh yeah, today's Mother's Day. And they didn't correct me and say oh, it's, thanks, but it's tomorrow, or, whatever. But my mind went through some sort of wormhole and thought I need to call her today because it's Mother's Day. And I apologized because oh, I was going to call you earlier, but I took a nap. It's it's fine. It's not until tomorrow. But no, the whole time I was on the phone, they didn't correct me or anything. They probably just figured, oh, she's just calling us a day early. But yeah, naps as an adult are wild. I'll sometimes take a nap, and while I'm napping, think about the things that I want to do for the rest of the day. So tasks that I have to do. So I'll dream that I am waking up and doing them. But then when I wake up, I'm kind of in this delirious state of wait, did I do that already or did I not? Because I just dreamed that I did it. And so it's not a very satisfying nap when you just dream about doing things that you have to do. So that is my nonsense. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is I got a package. I ordered a print from a fellow dietitian artist a couple weeks ago, and it arrived about a week ago, and I've been holding on to it so I can open it on the podcast. So this is from Forbes. She is a dietitian / artist out in Florida, and she creates these really colorful abstract paintings. And so I ordered one because I wanted to have something to, support a fellow artist dietitian, but also I wanted something colorful to either have in the background here or have it in my office as a little bit of a background for when I'm on Zoom calls and stuff. So I ordered a print that I liked. I spent a lot of time deciding which one I wanted because there were a couple that I really liked the look of, but I'm just going to open it here, which I realized for an audio medium, if you're listening to this episode, is not going to be particularly exciting, but I encourage you to watch the video version or just go check out Holly's website. I will leave links and such in the description. Whoops, I just dropped the box. So pull this out. Sweet. I need to look up what the name of this print is, but I feel like I was torn between two. It was either follow your compass or the light, like the inner light or something. So this is the print. And you can order them in different sizes and either get them already framed on paper or on canvas. Let me look up what this one is called. So this is from the Season of Change collection, and it's called Look Where You Last Saw the Light. And then the other one that I was looking at was Guiding Compass, which I really like the look of this one too. I don't know. I just like the glowiness of it and feels like it's in motion. So yeah, I think that's really cool. Yay! More art to hang around my office and my studio that is not my own. It's one of my goals to get a little bit more stuff from other people instead of just hanging at my own, because I think finding inspiration from other people broadens your horizons a little bit more. And Holly's colorful abstract paintings are definitely like satisfying to look at. So I also want to mention that I'm not being paid or sponsored by Holly to, promote her art on my podcast. I know her because she's a member of the Artists and Creators in Dietetics Facebook group, and I met her through Instagram. And so I bought the print myself and wanted it for my own uses. She doesn't even know I'm talking about it, but I definitely recommend checking out her artwork, and I'll put links to her Instagram and her website in the video description below. So I thought since it's the 2-year anniversary of launching my business, I thought I'd talk a little bit about advice for getting started in a creative pursuit in dietetics, because I do get questions about it sometimes. Where do I start? How do I even pursue something outside of traditional dietetics? And I definitely think that if you're a dietitian who is already in the field working in a quote unquote traditional role, in a hospital or primary care, whatever traditional role you have, I would say pursue something. Don't quit your job without testing the waters first, because I do think sometimes that pursuing a creative interest full-time can suck some of the fun and enjoyment out of it. So pursue it part-time to begin with, as a side hustle, so that way you can and this is all just my personal opinion, do you whatever works for you. This is just my personal opinion without knowing anything about your situation, but I would consider pursuing it as a side hustle to begin with, to see if you enjoy turning it into a business, because whether it's painting or designing print-on-demand products or making music or doing poetry or illustrating, whatever your creative passion is, making pottery, whatever. It can be a fun hobby, but once you bring the business aspect into it, it can suck a lot of the fun out of it, and you have the potential to lose enjoyment. So I think getting your feet wet and trying it in a slower fashion can be helpful. For myself, who did not start out in a traditional role, because I got credentialed during the pandemic, and with that chaos, I just didn't want to pursue a traditional role at that time. So I was all in on creative pursuits, but I did find that trying to force myself to create content either for the internet or with the intention of having an audience for it. So, creating a painting and filming it takes sort of some of the meditative component out of it. So if I want to be in the office, or if I want to be in my studio and just check out of the world and just paint, I can't do that because I'm thinking about what angles I need to film this at, or I can't just dive into something and let time go by without thinking about it. I need to think about okay, I'm going to draw until this point, and then I'm going to change the angle, or I'm going to take a photo at this point. So creating with the intention of creating content can suck some of the fun out of it. Can work for some people, but it does also have the potential to make it less fun. So I guess it's just a cautionary tale to remember to have fun with it, and if you're not enjoying it, to dial it back or find a different way to incorporate it. I know that's kind of vague and not clear direction or clearly helpful. The other thing I would say is pick one thing and work on that. I know that's really hard, but especially when you're first starting out, if you have a million ideas, just pick one thing. So if you want to sculpt or like hand carve wooden utensils, but you also want to like paint landscapes or something, pick one of those things to really dive into, because if you try to do a little bit of everything, you never quite become an expert at it. And you're also dividing up your time between a lot of different things that all require, if they want to be successful, full-time effort. But you can't give full-time effort to all of your interests and all of your ideas. You need to really dive all in on one thing. So this has been a continuing struggle for me, but how I do my mental gymnastics in my head is my main focus of my business has niched down to video editing. So video editing for YouTube channels, video editing for podcasts, video editing for, webinars or presentations, demo reels, just video editing. And I still get some variety within there because people have different, video content, obviously. That is the main focus. But for me personally, I still need variety in my life. I like to draw, I like to paint, I like to illustrate, I like to do graphic design to some extent. I like to do a lot of different creative things. So how I work it in, and again, doing my mental gymnastics to justify like still pursuing multiple things instead of just focusing on one, is I still have my shop. So that's one thing. I still have the ability to draw and create products and still make a little bit of money from it. The shop itself is not hugely lucrative at all, but it's still like something that I can use as an outlet for my creativity. And it's fun to do. I'd like to grow it into something more eventually, but for now it's just kind of a creative outlet for me that I can throw stuff up and maybe make a couple bucks. And it hasn't lost its fun nature for me yet. And hopefully it won't. But I did find myself, because my shop is so new and it's not as established as, Amazon or, like a big brand, that it's not financially lucrative. So I just can't justify devoting as much time as I have in the past 2 years. So this year I'm dialing back my efforts and just like doing a small launch, something miniature, instead of like huge launches with like a bunch of different designs. And huge for me is like 5 designs. So I'm kind of dialing back my efforts and just like, okay, I can pursue this, but I just can't justify devoting as much time as I have previously. So there's that. And then my husband was reminding me, because I don't paint. I haven't been out in the garage. I haven't been out here in the studio to paint in a while, or like illustrate, draw, whatever. And I'm like, I feel like I haven't done anything creative in months. And he's like, but he's looking at me on the computer and I'm like doing an ebook or designing a logo or video editing or whatever. And he's like, you're still doing creative things. You're just not drawing. And I think I need that like tactile part of it in order for it to feel like I'm actually doing something creative. And since the weather has gotten nicer, I've been able to go outside and work in the yard. And we have bamboo along our fence, and so I've been trimming back some of the dead canes that have dried out and are ready to be removed. And so I've been using some of the taller ones to like make little structures and make lattice for some of my plants and vegetables and flowers and stuff. I personally get more satisfaction from sort of tactile creation rather than digital creation. And so I would like to incorporate more of that moving forward. I kind of just wanted to talk about, I feel like I'm going on a bunch of tangents, but I basically just wanted to talk about like where my business has come, kind of how I've sculpted it and like fine-tuned it into what it is. Because it started off kind of broad with art, video, design, but I'm focusing more in on video editing, and that's where I think if you are looking to pursue something creative, to just focus in on one thing and pursue that. Like going back to Holly and her art, she is very focused on abstract painting. She's not all over the board with like, sculptures and drawings and realism and da-da-da. She's like colorful, abstract art. This is my niche. This is what I'm doing. And when people go to her page, they know what they know what she does. Miranda Reagan with Donut Season Design, she has, her stickers and her like very niche dietitian stickers, t-shirts, apparel. Her shop is very like, she has a particular style. It's very clear what she does when you go to her page. For me, video editing is the main thing I'm focusing on right now. I think find your thing, do that thing, and go all in on that one thing. So that way when people find you, they know exactly what you do and there's no like question about it. And if in time you find that like you lose interest in it or it's just not what you want to do long term, either sell the business or put it on the back burner or take a break from it, or, you know, just let it fizzle out completely and start something new. Like, it's totally okay to transition into something else. You know, once you start something, you don't have to stick with it forever. So don't try your best. I hate it when I say don't do blah blah blah, because when people say that to me, I'm just like, I'm not listening to you anymore. I encourage you to resist the urge to procrastinate by thinking about all the things that you want to do, like overthinking and wanting to start all of the things. How did I phrase this? I know I was thinking of it earlier. Like, when you spend all your time thinking about what you could pursue, you could have been pursuing something already. Basically, don't procrastinate. Just start on something and know that it's not set in stone. You can always change later, but don't be afraid to go all in on one thing. If that one thing ends up not being what you want to do, that's fine. Change it. So for my business for the future, moving forward, I do want to continue growing my shop and getting it established. And if I get to a point where people know me, they know my shop, they know to go for, you know, my style and the type of products that I have, I would like to eventually grow into a marketplace. I want to make it so other people can set up little mini shops within my shop and have kind of like a marketplace, sort of like Etsy, so people can sell their physical goods on my site as well. And I'm just kind of like I said, a marketplace. I think that would be fun to kind of bring all of the dietitians together and have a unified marketplace for physical products. But that's a ways down the line. And then something that I'm working on now is a membership. So like I said, it's really difficult when you have a lot of ideas to focus in on one niche. And so I think creating a membership model for my business would make sense, because I want to give people access to my design skills, my video editing skills, and my art knowledge, and have a place where you can get access to that for a monthly fee that's affordable. And so I want people to have access to my creative skills for an affordable rate, and I get the benefit of being able to create things that are, you know, constantly create things new. So the membership constantly is continually like growing and new things are being added. So I think a membership would be a good idea to add to my business. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'd also like to incorporate more nutrition into my business. So one of the things I wanted to do when I was still in my internship is create nutrition handouts and things like that. So I would like to start actually creating more of those. I've gotten into it a little bit with my continuing education planner, but it's aimed obviously more for dietitians. So continuing education, like worksheets to kind of like refresh on nutrition knowledge. I want to grow that particular product, but I also want nutrition handouts that are more patient focused. So that's another thing. And then I also feel like I do enjoy, and maybe this is like, you know, beer goggles, or, you know, what is it called? They did it in like How I Met Your Mother, like the distant, like time, you know, the saying like distance makes the heart grow fonder, like time away from something makes you forget about all the negatives. So I did enjoy some aspects of one-on-one counseling. I liked the being able to make people feel good about their own instincts and intuition and body positivity, and counseling people on healthy eating habits that are more lifestyle and longevity based rather than like quick weight loss type stuff. And so I miss some of the one-on-one counseling. So I'd like to incorporate either starting a secondary business or working part-time or full-time, depending, at a business, you know, a private practice or some sort of telehealth organization, working as a actual dietitian instead of just, you know, a video editor who also is a dietitian. I'd like to maybe in the next year work in a more traditional dietetics role, either locally or virtually. So yeah, and like I said before, I want to incorporate more art. I like the more tactile stuff. Lately I've been, and by lately I mean the last few days, I've been thinking I want to get into like clay. I feel like, I can't remember what it's called, if it's like Fimo clay. I don't remember the term for it, but it's the clay that you can make like beads out of and you like bake them in your oven or whatever. I want to do stuff like that. So I don't know if this was helpful. I feel like I just rambled, but I just wanted to share a little bit of the state of my business 2 years in and kind of my thought process looking back on it, you know, if I were to do it again, and thoughts and ideas for if you're looking to pursue something creative as well. I think the biggest thing is like focusing on one thing. And I know that as I say that, like I have a lot of other things that I do, but it is like my biggest tip is like focusing most of your effort on one thing. And if you still need like other creative outlets, incorporate them, whether it's part of your business or as like a hobby or side hustle type thing. Like obviously I have the hobby of like working on my garden and working on my yard and that sort of thing. And then also, you know, having my print on demand shop so I can come up with designs and put them on products, sell them. And then focusing most of my effort on video editing, because I think I've said this in other episodes that video is a huge part of education moving forward, and a lot of people prefer to receive information via video. Yeah. And then I have ideas for the future. I don't know what will come about, but those are some thoughts, ideas, and whatever that I have. And I wanted to end the episode with a giveaway. So the Kerminator LLC is 2 years old, so I wanted to do a little giveaway. Basically, let me go over because I want to make sure that I cover everything. So basically, you have 3 chances to win, or 3 prizes that you could potentially win. You can only win one, you can't win multiple. So one winner will be randomly selected to receive a rainbow Dietitian Tumbler loaded with stickers, plus my new YouTube starter kit, which is a digital product that I just released this month. And that total prize is valued at over $130. It is this metal tumbler with a plastic lid, and then inside I have a bunch of stickers. Some of them are mine and some of them I purchased from donut season that I thought a winner might enjoy. I have one of these glucose pins. It is a abstract glucose molecule design that I came up with, and it's in a acrylic pin form. And again, if you're listening to this, I apologize. Go watch the YouTube version. And then there's a little glucose sticker. I have, let's see here. There are a bunch of the Dietitian gradient stickers in the retro, the rainbow, and then the holographic rainbow, and then 2 small versions of the same design. And then my ascorbic acid sticker, Not Your Mother's Dietitian. And then from donut season, I've got Nutrition is My Jam, All Foods Fit, and Nourished. So lots of stickers, plus this really pretty metal tumbler, which is good for hot or cold beverages. So that is the first prize. So again, it's the tumbler, all of those stickers, plus my digital YouTube starter kit. Hey, this is Sarah from the future, editing this episode. I realized when I filmed this, I didn't really explain the YouTube starter kit at all, so I just wanted to share a little bit about that. So like I mentioned, it's a digital product, and I created this kit because I really wanted people to spend less time worrying about figuring out all the little details when you're starting to launch a brand new YouTube channel. And my hope is that all of the elements of this kit will break down and eliminate some of the analysis paralysis you may be facing, so you can get your content out there in front of your audience sooner rather than later. And so the kit includes my YouTube channel checklist, along with some tips for starting your channel, a video description template. So if you're unsure of what to include in your video description, I give you a template that outlines what to include. There are thumbnail templates, a channel banner guide and templates, a closed captioning guide, maximizing your YouTube content guide. So that way, when you spend all this time creating a long form piece of content, you have tons of ideas in order to turn that one piece of content into lots of pieces of content, so you work smarter, not harder. And then I also provide you with both square and vertical social media templates. And the kit is available on my site for $45. Check it out on my site if you want a little bit more details. I'll leave a link in the video description below. And then 2 people will be randomly selected to receive the 3 sticker bundle and the YouTube starter kit. So those prize packs are valued at just over $50. And so the sticker bundle is the Not Your Mother's Dietitian, the ascorbic acid, and the holographic rainbow dietitian sticker. And so there's 4 ways that you can enter. And I don't mean to overcomplicate this. I just wanted to give people different ways that they can enter in case they're not on a specific platform or whatever. But okay, so you can have up to 4 entries. Entry number 1, write a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts and send me a screenshot on Instagram or email it to me so that way I can contact you if you win, because there's not necessarily a way that I can contact people who leave reviews, but if you send me a screenshot, I can obviously contact you. Option number 2, subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave a comment on this video. Leave me whatever comment you like, but an idea is like, what's your creative side hustle or what's your dream job as a dietitian? Option number 3 is to follow the Kerminator and the Kerminator shop on Instagram. So follow both of those accounts, and that's option number 3. And then option number 4, subscribe to my email newsletter. So you can just subscribe on like my link map or download one of the freebies on my free resources tab. Hey, Sarah from the future again, editing. I wanted to clarify that in order to enter, you need to do option number 1, and then you have up to 4 options to enter. So you have to do number 1 regardless, so leave a review on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Leaving a review really helps to support the show, and plus you also get the opportunity to potentially win one of these prizes. And send me a screenshot of your review so that way I can verify it. Send me a DM on Instagram or shoot me an email at aRDistspod@thekerminator.com. And then you can have up to 3 additional entries by doing the other 3 options. So, again, there's 4 options to enter. You can get up to 4 entries, and there are 3 possible prizes. So, the 3 sticker bundle with the YouTube starter kit, or the tumbler with like a dozen different stickers, and the YouTube starter kit. So, terms and conditions. And I will put all of this in the video description below, but just to get through it all, you have to be 18 years of age or older to enter. The giveaway opens on May 20th, 2023 and closes May 31st, 2023 at 11:59 Pacific time. The winners will be randomly chosen within 48 hours of the contest closing and announced on the YouTube video comments, so you can always come back to the YouTube video and check the pinned comment at the top. I will also announce it on my Instagram stories and via email to the winners. The winners will be contacted via email or Instagram direct message, whichever way that you contacted me. To confirm winning, the winners will have 24 hours to respond, or a new winner may be chosen. Only 1 winner per prize package per household, and physical prize items will be shipped within 2 weeks of winner confirmation, and the digital prize items will be delivered via email within 2 weeks of winner confirmation. I need a physical address for shipping, so no PO boxes, and you must live in the United States or Canada. There's no purchase necessary to enter. Void where prohibited by law. Odds of winning are based on the number of valid entries received, and it will be up to my discretion when determining the validity of the entries. And lastly, this giveaway is not sponsored by, endorsed by, or associated with Instagram, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, or any platform you are viewing, watching, or listening on. So that's all I have for you today. The day that this episode comes out is my birthday, and my plan is to go to the art museum and check out some art, just enjoy the day. And my husband wants to take me to Blick in Portland so that way I can wander around to my heart's content and look at art supplies, and he'll, buy some new stuff for me. And yeah, enter the giveaway if you're interested, and check out Holly's artwork, check out Donut Season, go to whatever connect on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you prefer, and let me know what your creative side hustle is. I'd love to know if you're interested in pursuing a business in the dietetics field that's a little bit non-traditional. And that's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.